The following program is brought to you by Pizza Productions.
The podcast no one listens to, with Kevin Porter. Nice.
I hear people talking shit about me behind their back. I can hear them outside my fucking office talking shit, saying Kevin Porter sucks. Kevin Porter sucks. What are you doing in there, Kevin Porter? Sucking it up? Ha ha ha. Heard your shit on last week, dude. Fucking sucked. Oh, fucking shit. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to an all new episode of the podcast I know and listens to. I fucking heard you, Jessica. I fucking heard you. Shit, I don't know, man. What's up, dude? I'm frustrated with. I'm over this opening already. I'm just gonna fucking say that. I've recorded this shit like at least a handful of fucking times, and it's starting to get annoying. It's like every take I have a little bit of goodness, but then I just trail off into a bunch of bullshit that doesn't even fucking matter. It's like no one fucking cares what you have to fucking say, dude. You need to stop swearing so much. I think that's probably a problem that we have. We swear way too much on this podcast, dude. It's just like everyday life, dude. It's just like everyday life. Fuck shit, cunt, pussy, hairy, fucking balls. I don't know. We're just making this shit up as we go, dude. That's how a podcast is. It's like, oh no, I spend a good hour every single week putting this together. It's like, no, dude, I put this together in like 5 fucking minutes, dude. No, it takes a little bit longer than that, actually. I do put about an hour's worth of work into it each and every week, dude, getting that shit uploaded, dude. Because, like, these openings, they cost me. I don't pay. Well, actually, I do pay money out for this shit. But, hey, it's the fucking principle that matters, man. It's about getting out there and doing it. It's like, oh, I have a podcast to do that this week. You know, I have something I have to do. Something I'm held accountable for. Like feeding my children. I'm held accountable for that. It's just something you do. You build it up as a callus on your fucking foot and you keep doing it and doing it. It's like, what does a callus have to do with a podcast, Kevin Porter? It has nothing to do with a fucking podcast, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, welcome to an all new episode of the podcast that no one listens to. I'm your ridiculously high host, Kevin Porter. We're here for another week. I hope you enjoy this opening. Again, the pleasure's all mine, ladies and gentlemen. The pleasure's all mine. I remember back in the day, I used to say ladies and gentlemen way too much. It's a nervous factor. It's a tick in my fucking eye, dude. It just means, man, I'm about ready to shit my pants, dude. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. It's like I've been playing fucking make-believe for 12 fucking years, dude. Longer than that. Almost 14 fucking years. I've been playing make-believe for 14 fucking years. Holy shit, it has been 14 years that we've been doing this shit. And it's like, are we doing it at a high level? Fuck no, we're not doing it at a high level, dude. We need to do it better, though, man. We need to be coming in each and every single week, bringing it to the fucking table, dude. That means I need to get a thing of bread. I need to get some fucking mayonnaise. I need some turkey, some lettuce, tomato. Hey, have you ever put a cucumber on a sandwich? It's fucking delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, I want a fucking sandwich and I'm hungry right fucking now. I'm hungry for that sandwich, dude. What was that guy's name? Jameis Winston. He's like, hey, you see that W? See that W? Nom, 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 nom. He ate that fucking W, dude. And like, fucking, I always listen to, ESPN Seattle, ESPN, their 710 ESPN Seattle. Okay, so I was listening to, I want to say his name's Danny O'Neil. I don't know if you know who he is, but man, that guy needs to shut the fuck up, okay? He always talks shit about Jameis Winston fucking doing that, and I'm thinking like, dude, a leader. That is a fucking leader that comes in and is like, you know what? We're gonna get some breakfast. What'd you say? What? Talking shit, dude. She's back here talking shit, dude. Again, I had to fucking stop the recording. I don't even know where I left off, dude. We're just going to leave that to the fucking ethos right there. You guys were like, oh, Kevin Porter, that's the best tangent you've ever been on. And then shit. Fucking Jessica. Oh, no, I'm just joking. I love Jessica with all my heart. I do. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, yeah, he's the fucking say that way too much, man. Dude, am just staring at a bunch of posters and I'm like, damn, dude, I just want to play my fucking Sega Genesis for fucking 5 minutes, dude. I swear, I come home. You ever hear that whole thing about, oh, I'm sitting in the car for an extra 5 minutes just so I don't have to go inside? I used to kind of think that it's just, oh, ha, 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 what a pussy. No, not anymore, dude. I get home and I'm like, if I can stretch 10 solid minutes in my car by myself without one single person coming up and bothering me, it's going to be a very good evening for that time frame, okay? So, I don't know. It's just, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense to just not have a lot of alone time. Sometimes you just, I don't know. You need alone time, right? You need that. You need to be able to be free and go do stuff, which is not to say I can't go do stuff, because I totally can if I wanted to. But it just seems like I'm not doing a lot these days. Well, it seems like I am doing a lot, because I'm coming home and we're still doing work here. We got fucking work around the house, and it's like, it's a fucking pain in the ass, dude. It's just a pain in the fucking ass. And then I gotta do these fucking openings. I gotta do the podcast. Just like, that's what I'm consuming myself with today, these days, is fucking yard work. Well, fucking garlic. I'm so fucking sick of garlic. Oh, gosh. I'm not even lying about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like going out there and I like doing the work. And once I'm out there doing the work, but I'm just like, fuck. I want to play my Sega Genesis for longer than 5 minutes, man. I just want to play video games. And I'm sorry. I'm a lazy piece of shit. Like, internally, I'm just a lazy piece of shit. It's like, Kevin Porter, oh shit, you're not fulfilling your lifetime in these degrees. You would just want to sit there and rot in front of a fucking TV screen and be a piece of shit. It's like, damn, dude, but it's so much fun. I don't know. You kind of get bored. I don't know. I got to play a good amount of fucking Sega Genesis this weekend. And I kind of just got bored. By Sunday evening, I was like pretty fucking antsy, and I'm like, no more NBA Jam, no more NFL Blitz, dude. I got NFL Blitz for the 64. It's so much fun. I never had really gotten to play that game too much, and getting to play it at home on my TV is pretty fucking sweet, dude. But yeah, it kind of does get boring. I don't know. It's like I said, like I don't mind doing the work. I like going out there. I like doing it. It's just, gosh, man, just like you don't have enough time in the day to get anything There's like a million things I need to be doing. In order for me to be successful in life and do what I want to do, there's like a million things that I need to do. And it's not necessarily a million things. There's probably like 3 or 4 extra things in a day that I need to be getting done. And it's like, well, where am I going to fit that in? It's like, I get off, you go to fucking work for 8 hours. You slave away for 8 fucking hours. And then it's like, oh, what? So I'm off every day. If you're working like 9 to 5, it's even worse for you, because I at least go in a little bit earlier, so I'm not stuck there until like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. And then at that point, dude, you're like literally looking, you got to go to bed at 9, 10, because you got to get your kids up. If you got kids, dude, that's fucking bullshit. That's such fucking bullshit that we have like 4 or 5 hours at max, depending on what time you initially go in. And that's, sacrificing a little bit in the evening anyway, because then you got to fucking go to bed early, because if you got to get up at fucking 5, luckily I get up at 6. I mean, that's not that much better, but it's a little bit fucking better. I can maintain 6. Like 6 is better than 5. I have gotten up at 5, and this is all just to maintain the fact that I want longer periods of time in the evening. Like, I want to be able to be free from like 3 o'clock to fucking 10 o'clock at night. But then again, you're getting up at 5, so you got to go to bed by fucking, you got to be in bed, 9, 10 o'clock. You got to definitely be asleep by 10 o'clock if you're getting like that full time. It's like, no, I refuse to live my life by time, even though I'm forced to, and I have to every single day. So it's like, really what I just said is a bunch of bullshit, and I'm full of shit. What have we learned today on the podcast I know and listen to? Kevin's full of shit, guys. I don't know what we're rambling about. I don't know. It's just annoying. It's fucking annoying to me that we have to live by these standards. And again, like, there's only a couple extra things that I need to throw in there that I feel like I need to be successful. And a lot of that just comes down on me taking the time and doing it. Like, getting back to last week, having frustrations in life just means you're cutting fucking corners. And I feel that is like fucking truth right there, dude. Like, if you have frustration, there is something that you are cutting the corner on, and you just need to, step outside the box, look, find it, and fucking fix it, dude. It's like for me, man, like I was miserable for like 6 fucking months, dude. And it comes in waves. Like, it wasn't like every single fucking day, but I went through some pretty fucking low lows in like 6 months, dude. But now it's like stepping back just recently within the last couple weeks, like, what am I doing wrong? Well, I used to, like, what was I doing wrong? Like, why, when I was feeling so great and I was doing so well, what was I doing then that I'm not fucking doing now? Oh, 5 days of activity, meaning I have to sweat 5 days out of the 7 in order to maintain a level of happiness. And if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do. That means if I just have to stay home and do fucking push-ups and fucking run my fucking, yard and just sweat, that's what we're going to do. If I'm going to be able to go to the gym that day, then that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to force myself, to do this, and I have to put the work in. And again, if I ever want to achieve anything within comedy, I have to put the fucking work in, which I have never, ever put the fucking work in. That means I have to sit down every single day, and whether I write something good or I write shit, which most oftentimes it's probably just a bunch of shit, because I think you have to also be able to go on stage and work the material. Go in there with an outline and get your lines through the improv. I mean, that's how I've worked all my shit. But at the same time, I need to sit down and just force myself to sit in front of the material and be running the material through my head and really live my fucking material. And it's just like, I've had, you get spurts where you're doing that and you're doing well. But it's, again, I just like exercise. I have to build it into myself that, like, I have to put the time in. So instead of sitting down and playing Sega Genesis for fucking, longer than 5 minutes, I should sit down in front of my material and shit, which is like, I definitely want to fucking make it, better. I do. It's just, again, right now I'm fucking busy as fuck. So it's like, all right, game plan for the fall. It's like, let's take the summer off. Let's just do what we're doing, get up on stage when we can. It's like, this week's fucked. Not going to be able to do it this week. Next week, hopefully. And it's like, dude, I came off a pretty fucking hard bombing, dude, here several weeks back, dude. So it's like, I haven't been on stage. It's not like it's even bothering me. Like, I don't, like, it kind of bothered me initially when it happened. It's like, that was fucking embarrassing. That was really embarrassing. It was really fucking bad. But that being said, though, it's like, it was all, for the most part, new material that I've really, if I'd ran it before, it was maybe one fucking time. So it's just, again, I just have to work through it. It's not the biggest, it's not the first and last time I'm going to bomb, dude. I probably, I could get up there the next time, dude. It'll probably be the same instances. But you know what I mean, though? But this next time, though, like when I do get up, I do need to sit there and I do need to fucking read through my shit and just really get fucking acquainted with it and just run it, dude. Just run it. Don't even think about it. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, dude. I'm pretty fucking tired right now. I'm going to say that much. Sure. I'm fucking, I've been getting pretty decent sleep, dude. Dude, I've been getting to bed pretty much at 11 every single night, getting up at 6. I mean, it's still 7 hours, not full 8. But, even then, it's still, I always wish again, I want that moment without a fucking end, dude. I want that moment without an end. So, will that time ever come? I don't know. Does it look like I have the answers? Not really. Sure. I don't know, man. I'm kind of fucking bored. I'm not bored right now, I guess. Am I bored right now? I don't know, man. Am I bored? Sure. I think we're all bored in life at some points. I don't know. I just feel like there's no excitement. Like I'm going to a show this week, okay? And I'm generally excited, but like I'm not as excited as I would have been when I'm 15. It's like I've done this shit before. Like we've done this. We do this every year. We just go to shows and it's fun. Like the day trip, the time I get to spend with my friends is the best times. And when I'm there, it's the best times because you get to go in the mosh pit and hang out and just, it's not like you really meet new people, but, you're around other people and that's fun. I mean, in a mosh pit, there's a level of fucking love within a mosh pit, dude, 100%. I don't know, man. It's just like, I do the podcast every week. We do this. Okay. Go to work every week. Okay. Again, like wanting that time, that moment without an end and shit. And it's just, It's like, does playing video games really make you happy? No, not really. Is going outside and being in nature and digging and pulling stuff and getting dirt everywhere, is that happiness? I think it's a little bit closer to happiness. I think my time is better spent doing outdoor activities compared to being inside. But it's just like internally, that's what you want to do, and stuff. And I just want to like sit around and watch movies and shit. But again, like that does get boring. So you definitely have to pursue it, outside stuff, which I do. Again, we do all this stuff. But it's just, if I could be like, okay, every single Saturday, this is all I'm going to do. That's what I should do. Just dedicate it every Saturday. This is all I'm going to do. Just hang out and play video games. And then at least I have one day a week. And I guess I'm okay with that. I'm pretty content with that. Yeah. The evenings are pretty fucking busy. I do have time, I think. But again, like shit, I should be going over my notes. I should be sitting there pondering and smoking copious amounts of marijuana and fucking just getting high as shit and writing. And then ending the night, maybe with 5 minutes of fucking Sega. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the intro for this week. Dude, what a fucking, I don't know, that's either really good, it's either going to be a really good intro or that was just complete garbage. Like, nothing but garbage, which I'm going to kind of lean towards the garbage part. I'm not going to pat myself on the back on that one, but I'm too lazy to go back. I'm too lazy to go back and redo this. But it's like, Kevin, you have several days before this is due. Like, you could do better. It's like, will we do better, though? Will I do better? Probably not. This is probably my best effort of the week. And dude, that's why I maintain I'm a D-list celebrity here in Yakima, guys. And I have to embrace that, dude. I should get a fucking tattoo like D-list or like D+ or some shit. Like that's my fucking, that's where I stand in life, dude. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this week on the episode, we have a returning guest. We have Trevor Shay returning to the podcast. Now, Trevor lives in Texas, so the way we are able to obtain this this conversation is through the means of a cell phone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am the first to admit, if I had a steady internet connection, I could probably pull off Skype by now. But the fact is, I don't have a steady internet connection. So therefore, we are forced to use Google Voice. If it's a good app, dude, I'll put it over, dude. It's a good app to be able to record at least a phone conversation. And so that being said, the quality is as if you were listening to us on a phone call, which again isn't the worst quality in the fucking world, dude. Like, come on. I could be recording this on a cassette tape, dude. I could be recording this on a motherfucking cassette tape, but no, thank you. Thankfully, it's not 1995, it's 2019, okay? So, Trevor, again, I've known Trevor since I was like 15, dude. When I was a freshman in high school, I met him, Dustin Barron, obviously Dustin's still one of my best friends. Trevor is and always will be a good friend, even though we may not see each other every day, we may not see each other every year. But hey, through this podcast, we've been able to at least have a couple conversations, and it's like we never, stopped hanging out, dude. It's like seriously like going back to, us hanging out at Trevor's house or at my house with all of our group of friends from back in the day. And, it's just like you still feel like, you talk about, going through the decades and whatnot, where, that was like 20 fucking years ago, just about, I'd be like, dude, Trevor, I've known you for 20 fucking years, just about 18 years, right? It's just kind of insane how time flies, dude. I guess if there's any point to this whole entire intro, it's just, again, you want that moment without an end, dude. You just want that. You want to be able to do what you want to do and have fun in life. And that's what, love each other, man. Have fun, dude. I think that's like what we need to be doing more of, is focusing on being happy and laughing and just enjoying each other's company and getting to talk to people as much as possible and putting yourself out there in awkward positions where you don't feel comfortable, but hey, you're gaining a new experience. And I come back to being bored with life. Like, maybe that's my problem. I'm not putting myself in enough awkward situations. And again, cutting fucking corners, man. There it is right there. That's fucking it, dude. That's fucking it. All right. So, if you guys haven't already, I would ask that you please, could you press that 5-star button review? I know we don't bring it up every single episode. Okay. I know. It's like, right. Oh, you're going to ask for that 5-star review, right? Maybe I only feel like giving 4. That's cool. I get it. But I would prefer it if you gave me that 5-star review, though. So I don't know, man. We're gaining momentum. I don't know. I see those numbers, dude. Like we have good months, we have bad months, we have good months, and we have bad months. You know, it's like numbers go up, numbers go down. So it is what it is. We're definitely not the toppest. We are a public access podcast show, dude. Like that is all this is, dude. Just if I would air this, I don't know, man. Again, D-list celebrity, guys. We're not dealing with the creme de la creme in terms of quality here, people. Kevin Porter, jeez. I'm not. It's like, what? You're trashing on your own shit? Nah, we're not trashing on our own shit. I'm just really high and I'm happy. And I just feel like rambling on, you know, and that's what we do here. So you could either press the skip button or you could continue listening as I slip deeper and deeper into insanity. All right, guys. That's it. Listen to the Totally Necessary Wrestling Podcast. We're out with a new episode next week for the In the Mouth of Madness podcast. Tune in to find out what that is. Yeah. It is a surprise. Yeah, it's still technically a surprise. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we have a big surprise for you next week. So the single most offensive episode ever. But all right, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Trevor Shay.
All aboard!
This call is now being recorded.
Boom.
Okay.
There it goes.
No, dude, it was number 4. Was the stupid number I was supposed to press, so.
Oh.
Alright, cool, man. I'll just go and keep this off, dude. What's up, everybody? Welcome to an all-new episode of the podcast that no one listens to. I'm your host, Kevin Porter, and I'm joined today with Trevor Shay. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I loaded a pretty big bowl of marijuana, so I'm chilling here in my house. It's too hot to be in my office. I'm not too sure what the weather is like in Texas, but here in Yakima, dude, we're pushing like 90-degree temperatures right now. So it's like, yeah, I don't have AC in my office, so I have to like let it cool down, and then like the evening time I can go in there and kind of hang out and shit.
Yeah, that would suck. Here it's kind of like, I think it's getting close to 100 now, which kind of sucks. But I mean, we've been getting storms and stuff, so it's kind of been keeping it at bay. I wish I could load up a bowl and smoke it, but I mean, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to. But my fingers are always crossed that they're gonna eventually federally legalize this shit, and then I can just come home and have to work and smoke a bowl. That's what like me and Holly used to. That was like our favorite thing to do when I lived in Wenatchee. So
I think Trump will legalize it at some point, dude. There's too much money involved in the industry that's being shown with all the states where it is legal. Like I think they said like Colorado's getting like $1 billion in taxes every single year.
Oh yeah, and I mean it's kind of funny because not all people, but people tend to follow trends and whatnot, and it seems slowly one after another states are starting to legalize it. So I think when all those states that don't want to legalize it start seeing the revenue and stuff that's coming in with the states that have legalized it, they're all going to follow suit shortly after. So I think we're pretty much in that period like we were in back in Prohibition, where everyone was kind of leery of legalizing it, but then ultimately they ended up doing it. And I mean, obviously we've come far since then. So I mean, it's just getting over that hurdle really, to where people aren't gonna know that it's nothing detrimental. It's just pot, it's just marijuana. I was reading an article the other day, and I guess supposedly they took it off the DARE list. Have you heard about that?
No, dude, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, supposedly they took it off of the DARE program we took like back in elementary school. Remember that?
Yeah, dude, I wanted an award for the essay, like the essay thing at the end of the program, because like I wrote some essay. It was like, I will never do drugs. Like I will stay away. Like I pledge to say no. That type of shit. Yeah. So they took pot off that list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, supposedly they did. Of course, I'd look into it a little bit more, but I read an article saying they were going to, and then they eventually did, I think. But it's kind of funny because that shows you how much we and the generations before us were conditioned in school, to think that marijuana was such a big deal, like until we figured out for ourselves it wasn't really, it was just a cool thing to do with your friends and helped you relax,
I think of a lot of the people, like, our age that got all fucked up because their parents were all hardcore with them and shit. Like, I don't know about your parents, but, like, my mom was, like, pretty, up front that, weed wasn't the worst thing that you could do, She was like, well, you might want to stay away from cocaine and heroin, but weed is probably okay. And, just, like, I remember, just people that we were friends with back then, like, it seems like they'd go out, like, some of them went off the deep end just because based off their, parents, like, strict rules on the consumption of, drugs and alcohol and stuff, which, again, like having kids now, it's like, I get it. Like, you don't want your kids getting all fucked up all the time like we were.
Yeah.
But, like, still, there has to be, you can't, like, fucking lie to them and shit.
Yeah. I think one thing I always tell people, like, especially since I work on a military base and I work with a few people that are, that I served in the military with, and some of them haven't even tried, smoking weed or anything, like anything for that matter. Yeah, and I try and explain to them, I'm like, well, in some sense they say that marijuana is a gateway drug, and I mean, it really is if you think about it, because it's like, yeah, you smoke weed, and then you're like, oh, well, if this is so cool, I want to try the other things, but at the same time, I like to say it's also an anchor. It's also, I don't want to use the word drug, but for lack of a better term, an anchor drug, because everyone I know that started smoking weed back when we were younger, sure, we all dabbled in something else, but ultimately we recognized how, bad those were for us, and then we all just ended up going ending up smoking marijuana again, and ultimately, we use it as some sort of medicine, or just like any other person who doesn't smoke would go home and enjoy like a glass of wine or beer or whatever, it's among the same lines. So like, I mean, I can see why people argue that it's a gateway drug, but I mean, I think that comes a lot with people wanting to experiment with different things and whatnot, but I think it's good if they smoke marijuana, because ultimately they realize that that's the only one that really does any good, pharmaceutically and like emotionally, like for some people who have emotional disorders and stuff like that, that actually helps. So that's why I say it's like an anchor thing too, because it kind of, people will dabble and they'll go back, as opposed to someone who just starts smoking crystal meth and then they get addicted, and then, we end up, knowing those people that just become meth heads their whole lives and stuff and don't know how to get out of it. So, I mean,
right.
that's the way I feel about it. It's, ultimately, people use it as a medication. It helped me too. I mean, when I was in Washington, after I got out of the military, I smoked quite a bit, and I realized that I didn't have to keep going to the doctor to get medication for like anxiety and stuff like that. And then I had to stop and come down here to take this job, and sure as shit, I had to get back on a whole bunch of medication, so
Whoa.
Yeah. And like, I'm a firm believer, man. Like, it's not only for the camaraderie and like the friendships and stuff you build. Like, I've had people that I've wanted to kick the shit out of, and then we shared a joint, and it's like we were best friends ever since. It's great, man. I'm 100% for it.
Well, you bring up a good point with like I like the whole anchor. Like, it's like, it kind of, because it does, like, I don't know, dude. Like, I've like, anytime I've ever like really, gotten down to like, like work, when like you work on yourself, you try to fix through your issues and shit. Like, it seems like pot is always the one that's always going to point out my flaws. Like, not necessarily in a bad way or anything, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, you need to fix this. You need to fix that. It's like,
Yeah,
I always
it's
come
for
to self-realization.
self-reflection.
Yeah, self-reflection. Yeah, you have major self-reflection off, smoking weed and shit, dude. And like, it's like you said, dude. Like, it's most people with a head, they're gonna, realize that, yeah, you can't continue down that road of like hard drugs your whole entire life and live like a fulfilled life. I've never met anybody that's like, yeah, I feel very fulfilled after a day of smoking crack cocaine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it never really is it never ends up good when it comes to the use of that. But yeah, it's like you said though, like weed is like it's I use it the same way, dude. Like I've never had to I've never gone to the doctor and gotten actual like medication for like anxiety or anything of that nature. But man, like initially, like like I don't know. There's this like you take those first couple of hits, dude. Like initially you get a little bit of fucking anxiousness, but it goes away pretty quickly, and then throughout the rest of the night, dude, you're fucking fine, dude. Like
Yeah.
like my problems are like during the day, like work and stuff. It's like I'm getting better about it and shit. But like the because your mind's racing and everything, dude. So it's like smoking weed, it calms it down, and I don't know. It's like you said, have that good self-reflection, and you're like, whatever anxieties you had throughout the day, you're like, like I can let that go. So yeah, I use it for medication as well, man.
Yeah. And I like talking about it too, especially here because everyone knows, I came from Washington, and along with Colorado and a few other states initially, they know that Washington is one of them that legalized it. So they're like, oh my gosh, what was it like? And I was like, it was cool, man. Like, me and Holly used to get a joint and go down to the lake or go down to the Columbia River, and we'd just sit there on the shore and just smoke and just, chill. Like, I said it 100 times, man. I was like, the only thing that I can describe to someone who hasn't smoked and someone who's interested in wanting to smoke is that it amplifies life. Like, everything that you are doing, like, you enjoy much more, and you see the factors that make those activities more enjoyable. Like, instead of, let's say you're just a guitar player, and you normally listen to a lot of guitar in some music or whatever. I mean, when you smoke, you just focus on every aspect that's going on, like, every minute detail with the music, and you're way more appreciative of everything. Like, and like I said, how me and Holly would go out to the Columbia River, it's like you're way more appreciative of like the beauty of how awesome it is sitting there, on this huge river watching people boating, and then all the cool stuff, like how nice the day is and stuff, and it's great. Like, it's it amplifies life, and that's just what I always say. That's the only way I can describe it.
It is amazing, dude. Like going and seeing nature, like you said, like going and sitting on the Columbia. Like I remember one time going out to like the San Juan Islands, and like Jessica would always get pissed off at me because I'd be like, oh man, like especially in our 20s, because I'd be like, oh man, I gotta smoke weed and go do stuff, because like I'm the same way, dude. Like I remember one time, and I don't know, I think I may have said this on the podcast you were on last time. I don't know. I don't know. But like I remember like with like you and Dustin were at my house when we were like teenagers, and we got really fucking stoned. And I remember I started to clean, and I was like, this is great. And I think that was like the first realization I had is like I like doing things when I'm fucking high, dude. Like I don't like because you get that common, what's a stereotype or whatever of like a stoner, just sit on the couch, man, smoke a bunch of weed and play video games. And like, don't get me wrong, you do that and you have fun doing that, but shit, dude, if I'm gonna go out, like, go out to the forest or something, it's like I want to smoke weed while I do that. If I'm gonna go skateboarding, I want to go smoke weed. I want to, like you said, play in a band, dude. I want to smoke weed. If I go on stage and do stand-up comedy, I want to smoke weed. Like, I don't know, it relaxes the shit out of you, man, and it makes you, it gives you a new perspective on life. And it's like, it's funny how it fades away, like, when you're, like, I don't know, because, like, it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, the way you look at certain shit when you're sober compared to when you're high, it's like night and day.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude. So, did you, really quick, man, did you hear that Oakland and Denver both decriminalized magic mushrooms?
I did. I didn't know Oakland did. I did hear about Colorado decriminalizing mushrooms.
I haven't, like, confirmed it 100% on, like, a news story or anything, but, like, I heard it on a podcast. Somebody was saying, like, Oakland's done it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Without getting online right now because I'm on my phone, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy though, right?
Yeah, I've heard, I've read into it, and apparently they say it's really good with dealing with depression and stuff like that, like in micro doses, doing mushrooms, and that's why they legalize it, so that people can combat depression and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. I never would have known that. Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, that makes sense too, because they've been using MDMA for people with like PTSD coming back from like Iraq and Afghanistan. Like they've been doing testing studies for that for fucking years at this point. It shows they have a success rate when it comes to it, dude. Like when you sit down with a counselor and you fucking you take that and you work through your fucking issues, dude. Like it's really, I don't know. It's like kind of coming back to like what you're saying earlier about how like, moving from Washington where weed's legal and stuff, like Texas doesn't even have medicinal, do they?
Did they legalize medicinal? Yes, they just signed. I'd say this week for medicinal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way to get with the times, Texas.
Yeah. It's really regulated. Yeah, it's really regulated, but it's funny because everyone would tell me, well, because I talk about it openly. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I hit my phone and cut out a little bit.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I talk about it openly, and people are like, well, Texas will be the last state, which, yeah, I mean, Texas is a hardcore conservative state, so I understand that, but it's actually surprising to see over all the other, states that Texas is doing ahead. They're doing it ahead of all these other states out there that you would think have legalized it already, but still haven't. So I was kind of like, well, what were you saying about Texas? And it's just funny. But something interesting I'll tell you, I tend to really dive into stuff if it interests me, and most things honestly interest me. So actually not too long ago, my buddy at work actually asked me about mushrooms or whatever. So I don't like giving somebody an answer that I don't know. So I went and I researched a bunch about mushrooms, and part of this, it's basically like a science documentary thing. Well, not really documentary, but like an article about, all the chemical components in psilocybin and different types of mushrooms and stuff and the effects on the human mind. And one of the coolest things that I was reading about was, the fact that, growing up, one of the biggest things that we knew about doing mushrooms is, if you always got, or if you happen to get them or whatever, one of the most common things you heard was to make sure you don't have a bad trip. Be around happy stuff, good music, relaxed atmosphere. You don't want to have a bad trip. You don't want to have a bad trip. And that's common, for people to say that. And that's just something, that as we were growing up, we heard a lot. Well, I was reading into this and how the chemical compound of psilocybin works with your mind and stuff. And from what I researched on it, it's pretty interesting because it says essentially the reason why you have a bad trip is because you have some sort of anxiety or some sort of fear that bothers you that happens to intrude on your thoughts while you're under the influence of psilocybin. And whereas we've always thought, well, we need something that'll calm them down, or, we need something that'll make them feel more comfortable. It was explaining how it combats depression, because when you have a bad trip, it's basically your body going face to face with whatever problem or fear that you have, and that's your opportunity to actually face that bad trip. And from what I've read recently about it, it actually suggests combating your bad trips instead of trying to avoid them, because by the time your trip is over and the psilocybin is out of your body, you've actually dealt with that problem and you won't have many issues with it anymore. So mentally, it's kind of your brain's way of manifesting that fear or that anxiety or whatever that you've had buried in you that you've dealt with for so long, and giving you a chance to your brain a chance to kind of let it go or combat it. So it's kind of interesting. And I was tying that in with why these other places would legalize it, because it makes perfect sense. It causes people to be able to deal with their issues a little bit easier and finally let them go instead of masking it with medication,
Well, since we have such an epidemic, of the medication, and it's what I was saying is, it's just sad that you have to go from Washington to Texas and you have to go right back on all the the pills for all the depression and all that stuff, dude, or anxiety. Yeah. And it's just I don't know, man, because you just hear about the horror stories nowadays, dude. I have family members that taking pain pills, and guess what? Pain pills led to fucking heroin. It's just it's just we're so as a society we're so ingrained into the system of mainstream news, that whole, we're plugged into whatever, the Matrix or whatever you want to call it, man.
Yeah.
And it's just the unhealthiness that for what we're, the unhealthiness of the lifestyles that are, brought upon on Americans, as normal, it's just being normal life and stuff. And it's the obesity, the lack of exercise, lack of nutrition, all these things that can help naturally combat, depression and whatnot, along also with, psilocybin mushrooms and marijuana and other natural remedies. And like they don't, you don't hear about that on the news, man. Like you got to go out of your way to learn about, holistic, healing and whatnot. And, I'm probably butchering the fucking names and shit, but you get the idea.
Well,
though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're getting the picture across. What you're trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, dude. So I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Like I don't know. It's a very interesting topic. I think it definitely needs to be discussed on a broader level in regards to just how we attack our daily life, man. Because like with me, man, it's like exercise, dude. That was my main key to like battling any sort of fucking anxiety, depression shit, dude. It's just like I realized that just recently too. I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Because I was like I was down and out there for a little bit. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? It's like 2 years ago, dude, I was like tip top, dude. I was exercising like 5 days a week, dude. I was eating good. It's like, dude, that's like the answer there. I'm not exercising as much as I need to. It's not even about like being in shape or anything. It's just sweating and getting the bullshit out. It's like you said, like about with the mushrooms and how that like allows you to like address like your fears and stuff and your mental issues, dude. I fucking welcome that shit, man. Cause like, I feel the same way when I'm getting that fucking, I'm sweating, dude. I don't know if there's something about it, like, when you sweat and you exercise, dude, it's like you fucking, like, your brain clicks, dude. Once you get to a certain wavelength of, like, 30 minutes in or whatever, and you got a good fucking, you got a good thing going, you just fucking start thinking clearer, dude. It's like, oh, yeah, that's not that big of a deal, Like, why am I thinking this? Like, I'm learning a lot about, like, letting, like, thoughts go. And not like dwelling on, like thoughts that'll come into your head stuff and they'll bother you for, time to time. And, it's just, letting that go and like being still, like meditation, dude. Like, fuck, dude. I don't do meditation enough, dude. I need to do more meditation.
Oh,
like,
yeah, dude. Meditation is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever like go out, do yoga or anything like that? Have you ever done like hot yoga?
I don't, but I have, well, I mean, not so much lately, but I mean, throughout my, like, when I was in the Air Force and stuff like that, and even before and a little bit after, I tended to meditate quite a bit. My favorite thing to do was to just put headphones on with like a, pretty chill, like melodic mix, nothing really grinding in my ear that would break my concentration. But dude, it worked. You just basically think about anything that's bothering you, surrounding you, and then everything floating away, and it works, man. I haven't tried, like yoga or anything. I've heard people tell me that it helps and stuff, but I haven't done it myself. No.
Yeah, I've done the hot yoga a handful of times, and I think if it's something like I were to implement, if I was to implement it on the weekly and like doing it at least like once or twice a week, like I think it definitely is something that can contribute to a strong mind, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes to show you, too, you're still an avid marijuana smoker, but you're able to maintain a clear mind because you, take all the measures and stuff to maintain a healthy lifestyle, regardless of if you're smoking or not. So that alone tells you, that it's not a crutch, it's not a burden, it's actually just, recreational. Yeah, it enhances. I mean, there have been times when I've smoked before and I've gone to work out too, and I enjoyed the workout more just because, I was in the mood.
Dude, 100%, dude. That happened to me yesterday, man. I kind of saying, dude, I literally just came to this like realization last week, dude. So I've been like really trying to focus on getting my shit together, and like so I went back and got a gym membership, dude, because like all I was doing here at my house is just like I was doing good stuff, but I was like push-ups, pull-ups. And I had like an elliptical machine, like doing some squats and like lifting some weights. But I don't know, dude, there was just something about like, something I was missing, dude, about going to the gym. It's just like being around people, like being around and like, you don't necessarily talk to anybody, but it's nice to be around people. I don't know. And I felt like that was my one thing was like, I was kind of like holding back, and I wasn't like wanting to be around people, but I was like, no, you got to force yourself to be around people. It'll be better and shit. But like, I took like 3 fat hits before I went to the gym yesterday, dude. And holy shit, like we talk about those times when you had those, those times where you had that self-realization on that shit. It's just like, fuck, yeah, dude, I love that shit. Hardcore, dude.
Oh yeah, man. It's great, man.
Yeah,
it's only a matter of time. Hey, while I'm remembering, did you hear it happen to my brother?
I know he got his trucking license, but I didn't know anything happened.
Dude, he was driving in Wenatchee, and he drives a cement mixer truck, you know, like one of those big ass big rigs. And he was turning on a road, and he was going like 10 miles an hour. So I don't know exactly the full details. He kind of told me, but he has like a stabilizer or something, and to back up the truck, you have to raise the stabilizers. And I guess to go back forward, you have to lower them, but my brother was like, oh, I'm not going to lower them because the work site was only like, I don't know, like 300 to 400 feet away. Well, when my brother turned, all the cement in his, you know, the load on the back of his truck shifted to one side of the truck, and it like flipped his truck over. And
no shit.
Yeah,
oh,
dude, and
shit.
it fell on the driver's side, and he was telling me, like, he basically, like, opened his eyes and all the windows and shit in the truck were gone, like, glass everywhere, and he said he looked up and he could see the passenger side, like, facing up, and he said he was so freaked out he started screaming, like, just losing it, man, and someone came by and, like, opened the passenger door and pulled him out, and he ended up going to the hospital, and he broke both of his wrists, his right pinky, his right pinky, and his left elbow. It ripped all the ligaments off of his bone.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, dude. So he's been in the
Whoa,
hospital. Yeah, and so he just so I think Friday he had to be in the hospital. He was still there for surgery, and they had to cut a bunch of his ligaments and shorten them. So he's like gonna have trouble extending his arm fully again and stuff. And yeah, man, it was pretty bad. It freaked me out because I was getting out of work, and my fucking sister just texted me, "You hear what happened about Justin? He's okay." That's all she texted me. You know, so I'm like, what the fuck? So like, I call my mom. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? As soon as my mom answers the phone, she's like, he's all right. I was like, what the fuck happened? And she told me, but he works for a really good company. They came to visit him, and they're like, listen, like, it's gonna take like 5 or 6 months for rehabilitation and stuff, and they're like, we're gonna pay you 40-hour work weeks while you're in rehabilitation. You want to come to work, so they're paying him full pay, and then Labor and Industries is paying all his medical bills, so they're taking care of him. But I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's nuts, man.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly, dude. That's fucking holy shit. Well, it's like I just talked to him, like, I don't know. This must have happened then, this last week or so?
Yeah, wasn't it last week? Yeah, last week it happened.
I talked because, like, I sent out a bunch of messages like, when I hit you up about coming on the podcast, like, I sent out a bunch of messages to a bunch of different people because I'm just trying to get more people on here. And so I was like, oh, I got to utilize the phone thing. So I hit up Justin, and, like, yeah, he messaged me. He's like, oh, yeah, dude, I'll be on the podcast. And then, I'm not on Facebook right now either, dude. I deactivated my Facebook account, so it's like, yeah, I didn't hear anything about this.
Yeah, he's doing good, man. But I asked him, like, you know, my big thing is, are you going to be able to still play guitar? You know, and he's like, well, yeah, but I can't for a while, and I don't know how it's going to affect my plans. So I was like, that's fucking. All I was worried about is him losing his job. You know, I was like. It wasn't his fault. I just, you know, he's got a good thing going on right now. So, you know, I was like, as long as he's, you know, got everything still going for him, you know. So, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, dude. Yeah, no, I had no idea about that. And so, like, that's cool. That's cool that they are taking care of him. Yeah, because, like, you know, I don't know shit about trucking, so I don't know if, like, when you were saying that story, I didn't know if, like, him not doing, you know, lowering that thing, like, if that caused the issue or, like, what exactly would cause something like that to happen. I mean, that's a scary situation, dude. I've never really heard about, like, a car flipping just because of the weight.
Well, it wasn't his fault. Like, he didn't have to have the stabilizers back down or whatever, but apparently it's because the cement mix was like 25% water and 75% cement, so it was like heavier, I guess. So it's, I guess when everything shifted, that's what caused the thing tip over, so. I was like,
whoa.
That's nuts, man.
It's just like one of those random things that definitely doesn't happen every day. So fuck.
Yeah.
Much love to your brother, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know why it made me think of this, but it reminded me of that time when we were all going to your house to party and Eric hit that dude with the oxygen tank. Remember that?
I don't know, dude. Like, I gotta remember that. Like, tell the story, dude.
No, we were, shit. I think it was when we were on the way to your house, actually, but it was me, Eric, Stefan, and my brother, and we were going to your house, and Eric had, like, a bunch of weed, and we were going down Bonnie Dune, and there's, like, I'd say between 25th and 24th, like, on Bonnie Dune. We were all driving, like, just laughing and shit with Eric and stuff, and all of a sudden, we hear Eric scream, and, like, we should have been afraid, but just his scream made me laugh. Like, ah! And I was like, what the fuck? And we looked, and this dude stopped on Bonnie Dune, just, like, right in front of us. And so Eric slammed on his brakes, and that old school van he had fucking hit the back of this car, like, bam! And we're sitting there like, oh shit, and we're like kind of frozen in there, and this dude gets out of the driver's seat, and he's got like tubes attached to his face and shit, and he's carrying an oxygen tank, and like, oh, like, hear me! Hear me! And shit like that. And Eric's like, hey man, you stopped in front of me, dude. Like, we ended up going to your house, and like, nothing ended up happening. Like, we went to your house, and like, Eric had to find a ride, and like, I don't remember exactly what happened.
I remember that. No,
yeah.
I remember the story. Because I was going to say, like, I don't remember being there, but I do remember the story. It's just, like, I haven't thought about that shit, dude, in, like, 16 years or some shit.
Yeah. It was weird, because Stefan wasn't around us all the time. It's just sometimes when Justin would come hang out, he'd bring Stefan, you know, and he happened to be there that night. And
I remember the first time I met Stefan, dude, like, I was with Eric, and we were rolling around. It was just me and him and his band, dude. And we were like, we weren't doing shit that night. It was like some random fucking like, it could have been like during summer or some shit. And like we came out to Wilson, dude. We went to Wilson, and your brother was there with Stefan, and I want to say like Tim and like possibly Ray. I don't know. All those guys were there, dude. I remember, I don't know. So we were just like hanging out with them for a few minutes and shit. And I forget exactly what it was, but I want to say either Eric hit the porta potty with his van and knocked it down, or your brother and them just knocked it down, or it was like we hit one down and then they hit one down. There was something had to do with the porta potty, and we smashed it down. Shit, like that was like I'm pretty sure that was the first time I ever met Stefan was that night.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
yeah,
dude.
Oh, dude.
So
yeah.
check this out. So I've been playing in this band down here or whatever, and it's hard to find a jam spot. So there's this dude I was jamming with like a year ago, well, maybe like a year and a half ago, and he had this cool place. It was like just a little jam spot, and it's like, you know, Montgomery Ward, or that whole plaza down there, like next to where Red Robin used to be, like the whole strip mall kind of thing off Nob Hill.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a place here called Fremar Valley, and it's just like that. But it's like businesses like all left there. But like this family owns Fremar Valley. So what they do is they pay all the electricity and stuff, and they just rent every single one of those offices out to bands. And
wow.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty badass. I went there to talk to this guy named Buddy, old dude, really, really nice guy. And I was like, hey, we don't have a jam spot right now. I was like, so, you know, I'd like to take a look at some of these units. He showed me around. He's like, we've got 11 other bands here. I was like, no fucking shit. And he's like, yeah. And he knew the guy I was jamming with before. And it's just crazy because you walk into this like shopping center and it's like, you know, just from like looking outside in, it's just, you see the empty glass windows and stuff. But in the middle of everything, there's just tons of bands just like all practicing there and stuff. And we got a garage unit. It's basically a warehouse, like a little warehouse where, you know, like it used to be a shop for people to bring their cars in and people would work on it and stuff. And there's like a lot of history there. Like talking to the owner, he said that the place that we're getting, there was a band in there for 10 years. And then ironically, this new bassist we got his band played in that very same spot right before we rented it. So we're thinking about like getting everything together and getting with these other bands, and then after like a couple months, we're gonna like put on a fucking concert in that whole shopping center, and like just have like all the bands playing shit and like sell merchandise and like all that crap, have some beers and all that shit, and like probably like try and make a festival out of it and do it like yearly and stuff. And it's like it's a really cool place, and it's gonna draw a lot of people because one, I mean, like the only strip club in town is next door. It's funny, so you get the drunk motherfuckers leaving the strip club and like live music, like what the hell, coming to see us and shit. So
yeah, right.
But it's cool. Like I had to bring it up because it's cool that there are people out there that are still involved with the music community that are like, hey, I'm gonna, save all these offices, and if anyone needs to rent one, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a handful of like little businesses, but like for the most part, they're all bands, dude. So it's like the guy gives us the keys and stuff, and like there's a restroom in there that's like super nice. Like he pays everything, like the electricity, all that crap. So it's like we only pay. I think ours is like $300 a month, split between 6 people.
That's fucking 8, dude. You pay $300 for it all. Damn, dude, that's fucking good, dude.
Yeah, and our workshop has another room in it that the last band had already soundproofed. So it's like we have a recording booth that has windows looking out into the warehouse and stuff. It's badass, man. Like it's pretty cool that people do that.
That's a steal, dude, because I've looked at office spaces here at Yakima, dude. They want like $600, $700. You're basically paying, full, like, I don't know, maybe not that much. I don't know, like $400, $500. I don't know, but still, dude, $300 for like I'm imagining like a pretty good sized space from what you're describing.
Yeah, it's 800 square feet.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
That's a good space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you could duplex.
Yeah, we're really paying $50 a month between all of us, and he put all of us on the lease, so no one gets fucked into paying the solid $300. We all just pay our $50, and that's it. So. Oh
wow, see, that's smart. That's smart. And then he's able to offer that, dude. 100%.
Yeah. I believe it when you're saying that they're expensive there, because dude, Washington, I love that place so much, but dude, they screw people out of the cost of living up there, man, so bad.
Oh, dude, the rent on average for anything nice over here is $1,000 a month, dude.
Yeah, our nice apartment in Wenatchee was $900 a month, and they were like one of the nicest apartments there. And then when we left, they upped the rent to $1,200 a month. And I was like, dude, fuck this.
Yeah, that's what happened with the duplex we were in before we moved to the house we're in now. Fuck, dude, we were grandfathered in, I guess, because we moved in there in 2011. We didn't move out till like 2017. And yeah, dude, like it was like, $1,000, and then they raised up like $1,200, 200 extra bucks.
Yeah.
Jeez, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Well, shit, I mean, just the cost of living over here, man. It's just, like gas prices is one thing that like it seems like it finally went down over here, dude. I think like at one point it was like $3.45 for a gallon of gas, dude. I was like, fucking looked at my thing. It was like $50 to fill this shit up. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Here it's like $2.19 to $2.25 here.
Oh, that's fucking decent, dude.
Yeah,
I heard Texas is like standard of living over there is like a lot better.
Dude, the cost of living is great, man. Like, I mean, it sucks because minimum wage. Yeah, exactly. If you get a decent job, you make a killing here. It sucks because it's flat. That's the first thing I noticed when I got to Texas, and then when I got here for tech school, was it was all fucking flat, and I didn't like it. I'm like, what the fuck? There's no mountains? Like, I can literally walk on the end of the base and, like, look straight for miles. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
That's fucking lame, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like driving a Pullman, dude. Here, have you ever driven like through Ephrata? I don't know if it's Ephrata, but it's like I forget the fucking name. But it's like if you drive like through Moxie, keep going straight or whatever, and out there past like Kmart and stuff, you get on that highway, and dude, it's nothing but flat fucking land, dude. And like I 100% agree, dude. Like if I were to have to be around just a bunch of flat land all the time, like you might as well put the gun in my mouth now, dude. Like,
yeah, dude.
It's not a beautiful place, dude.
Yeah, no, it sucks. And it's like there are people here that have never seen mountains and shit. I'm like, dude, you guys are what the fuck, man? Like,
looking out my window and I see hills. I see the Yakima hills around me.
yeah.
They're all around us.
Yeah, I can see Dallas from our fucking apartment. And that's like 2 hours away. No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's what it's like here, man. It's all fucking flat.
Yeah, dude. So is that the closest big city to you guys? Is Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas is an hour and a half south, and Oklahoma City is an hour and a half north. So we're like, they call it Texahoma. Yeah, so.
Yeah, dude, I do have family that's like down there in Oklahoma, Texas. I want to say it's honestly, it could be around there because it's my mom's cousins that live over there, and they're always posting pictures about like them going to like Dallas Cowboy games and shit, like, you know, shit down there in Dallas. So yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, Dallas isn't that far.
Do you venture on to Oklahoma too often?
We actually haven't been to Oklahoma yet. We're like, cool, Dallas, and then we're like, Oklahoma. We'll see. If there's like a good concert up there, like something really cool, then we might go up there. But so far, the only thing I've almost gone up there for was midget wrestling, and that didn't even draw my attention. I was like, nah, fuck Oklahoma. So
they've been having midget wrestling shows up here in Yakima. Like they've had 2 of them this last year.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got. There's one that's gonna happen, and like I didn't go to the first one, but I mean I like pro wrestling. You know me, dude. I like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, midget wrestling. I'm like, I don't need to see midget wrestling. It's not gonna be that great.
Dude, you know what sucks is I've been reading. I think it's in Tacoma. It's gonna be Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle stand up same night.
Yeah. Dude, I got pre-sale. I got registered for the pre-sale, so I'm supposed to get an email tomorrow to see if I get pre-sale tickets for that.
Dude, that would be great. That would be a great show.
Dude,
I'm jealous. I saw that and I was like,
yeah. Well, Rogan announced that he was going to be in Portland. Like, he announced it like a couple months ago. He was going to do his show down at the Moda Center, and I guess he's now just starting to play arenas, dude. Like, this is pretty new for Joe Rogan. He's been doing theaters. So, like, yeah, dude, like, I don't know, dude. I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan, dude. So, I really was on it. And I haven't gotten tickets yet, dude, but yeah, I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, I'd like to see him. Like I said, I was stoked. I was like, please be in Texas. I was like, fuck, it's in Tacoma, damn it. But,
it's like, damn it, if I'm still into Wenatchee or Yakima, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to the Tacoma Dome on this Sunday for wrestling. WWE's they're having like a wrestling pay-per-view, so I picked up tickets for me and the kids, dude, so we're going to drive up there for the day and shit and go hang out in Tacoma, T-Town.
Nice. Dude, I heard Dustin and Brandon Allen are doing a band thing.
I mean, he's hit me up about playing music again, dude, but we haven't I haven't gotten together with them, and I don't know. I know Dustin's looking to play music though.
Yeah. So I know you guys were doing that thing with the fucks when you guys Fanatic Underground Crazy Nights?
Yeah,
Dustin did?
The same thing. Yeah, Dustin got a DUI a couple years ago. It was like 2017, dude. It was like right when I started doing this podcast. I basically started doing this podcast because he got the DUI and we stopped playing music. So I was like, well, I need something to do. So that's why I started the podcast.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so like he's now just getting through with it. Just here in the next couple of months, I believe he's like finally off it. So he's been hitting us up and like, cause he's got the whole fucking recording set up at his house. He's got an electronic drum kit. He's got, you know, obviously the guitars. He's just got a new computer and new program to edit on and stuff. And yeah, so he's fucking gung ho about doing something right now.
Nice. I'd totally jam with you guys if I was up there. That'd be fun. But one day, man.
Yeah,
smoke a bowl, play some music.
You ever foresee yourself traveling back up to Washington State at some point?
That's where me and Holly wanna like basically settle down at. So I mean, like I was actually offered a job at Boeing. Last week. Yeah, last week, but it's the same pay which is fine. It's still good pay, but the cost of living goes way up. So I'm like, I live like a king down here. And I was like, or we could go back to Washington and, live near Seattle. Yeah,
that's like the worst, like one of the most expensive places to live in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when these places offer me, yeah, it is. Like, when these places offer me money now, I'm happy where I'm at for now. So when these places offer me money, I just bring up like some ridiculous amount. And like worst case scenario, they say no. I don't really give a shit because I'm happy here. So like, I've had places like hit me up to go to Saudi Arabia and train the Saudi Air Force on how to work on F-15s, and they're like, how much? I'm like, $120,000. Just like, haha, yeah, right. And then they'll be like, well, let me talk to my supervisor. And like, I'm like, okay, cool, So then I just fucking chill, and then like, I hear nothing from them, and then a month later they'll be like, okay, so we'll give you that, but you have to be here in the next 2 weeks. And I'm like, no, if you want me to be here in the next 2 weeks, you got to pay me $150,000 for the year. And they're like, let me call you back. And then, I don't expect them to, but they keep contacting me. I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. I'm not going to do that shit. It's like,
so like obviously I'm just fucking playing with you guys.
Yeah.
But damn, $150,000?
Yeah, well, it goes to show how desperate they are, but it's like, yeah, that's good money, but it's like all of us would have to move to Saudi Arabia, and it would be like, I mean, it would be an adventure, don't get me wrong. I'd love to visit Saudi Arabia, but it's like, tales and stuff, my buddies that have come back from there, they're like, they never listen to you, like, they don't fucking take care of their tools or anything, like, it's just, it's not worth it. I'd rather just go to Saudi Arabia for a week and visit and then just come back than be stuck there,
Well, shit, there's all that, like, uproar, going on about how, like, their human rights and stuff, they're, it's like, it's pretty shitty, they have that one writer that was killed, and then, like, I guess they still execute people for being gay and shit. Like,
yeah,
like it's, it's like the women are treated as, fucking on, the same level and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, people are bitching about the United States. It's like, hey, go look at Saudi Arabia, guys.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's not even the worst of all of them over there,
Oh,
and
it's not,
still,
dude, 100%. We're like, yeah. And plus you're American, dude. Like, Americans, like, we're buddy and buddy with those guys, so, I mean, I would probably go just for the fucking experience of going to Saudi Arabia. I mean, I'm with you on that end, dude. It's like, hey, you want to go to North Korea? Maybe. Like, I don't know. I'll consider it. Sure.
Yeah.
I've heard I don't know, man.
As a tourist, yeah.
Right? Just go in there for a week, like you said. You just pop in, pop out. Fuck yeah, dude. Trevor Shay. Dude, I think that wraps it up here on this episode of the podcast that no one listens to, man. You got, as you said, you're in a band, dude. You got anything you wanna plug along before we cut the cord?
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm playing in a band called Acid Hound. We're a doom metal band out here in northern Texas. If anyone wants to check us out, just go ahead and type in Acid Hound in Google, and it'll say doom metal from Texas. And we've got some stuff up there. We'll probably have some shows and some merchandise if anyone wants some. I'll get some and I'll send you some, just for shits and gigs or whatever. And then, I mean, we're on everything. So I don't check like Twitter or anything like that. Our guitarist does that crap, but we have like, Instagram and all that crap. The only one I really monitor is Facebook. So yeah, it's Acid Hound on Facebook. So if anyone's interested, just go ahead and check that out. Give us a like. And get your friends to like us and stuff, get the word out so that all music from Texas doesn't suck, other than like Pantera and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, It's good talking to you.
It's Acid Hound and Pantera. Those are the only two good things to ever come out of fucking Texas, dude. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, and people can just find the link on the show notes for this. If people are on their phones, they flip up, they'll find all the hyperlinks to that because I'll go in and gather all that shit for you, and people can find that shit that way as well. So,
cool,
all right,
man.
Trevor
I
Shay,
appreciate it, dude.
Thank you
so
much for coming on, dude. We got to make this a regular thing, dude. We got to phone chat from Texas, bro.
Yeah, dude. Hit me up whenever you need me on the show.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go, dude. And until next time, motherfuckers, peace.
I like smoking pot a lot. I like getting stoned alone. I like vaping weed indeed. this lotion on my cock. I like smoking pot.